The dimly lit bedroom echoed with the rhythmic tapping of buttons and the soft hum of a gaming console. Abby, a petite woman with a shy demeanor, sat on the edge of the bed, her gaze fixed on the screen in front of her. She watched as her boyfriend, Brett, completely engrossed in his virtual world, skillfully maneuvered his character through a fantasy realm. His fingers danced across the controller, his blue eyes glued to the action-packed scene. A sigh escaped Abby's lips, frustration and disappointment washing over her. She had hoped for a quiet evening together, an opportunity to reconnect and share their day's experiences. However, this had become an all-too-familiar routine, Brett's obsession with video games leaving little room for anything else. His tall, athletic build seemed at odds with the sedentary lifestyle he embraced whenever he picked up the controller. "Brett, honey, it's getting late. Maybe we could do something else," Abby suggested, her voice laced with longing. Without taking his eyes off the screen, Brett responded, "Just a few more minutes, babe. I'm almost at the boss level. Can't you see I'm in the middle of something important?" Abby bit her lip, her emotions swirling within her. She understood his passion for gaming, but it had been weeks since they had shared a meaningful conversation or spent quality time together. At 21, she felt the growing distance between them, and her efforts to bridge the gap seemed futile. As she observed him, she noticed the contrast between his intense concentration now and the carefree charm he once displayed. His usually messy yet effortlessly styled blonde hair was now slightly disheveled from hours of gaming. A pang of sadness hit her as she realized how much their relationship had changed. She reminisced about their early days when Brett's bold personality had swept her off her feet. He had once been so thoughtful, planning romantic dates and thrilling adventures that left her breathless. But now, the only adventure he seemed invested in was unfolding on a screen. "Okay, but promise me we'll talk later. I miss spending time with you," Abby said softly. At that moment, Brett's character delivered a final blow, defeating the formidable boss. He let out a triumphant cheer, pumping his fist in the air. "Yes. Finally, I did it." He turned to Abby, his eyes alight with excitement. "Sorry, babe, I got carried away. I'll make it up to you, I promise." Abby forced a smile, but her heart felt heavy. She knew he meant well, but the pattern was all too familiar. More than empty promises, she craved his attention and the intimacy they once shared. As the night drew to a close, Abby lay awake, her mind racing. The sound of Brett's gentle snores filled the room, a stark contrast to the intense gaming session earlier. Yet, despite his presence beside her, she felt utterly alone. The next morning, she woke to an empty bed. Brett had already left for work, leaving behind a brief note on the kitchen counter. "Had to rush, will make it up to you tonight. Love, B." The sight of his hasty handwriting only deepened her unease. Throughout the day, Abby struggled to focus at her job as a barista. Her mind kept returning to the previous night, replaying moments of frustration and longing. She knew she had to confront Brett about her feelings, but the thought of a difficult conversation made her anxious. After her shift, she decided to take a walk in the nearby park, hoping the fresh air would clear her thoughts. The autumn breeze ruffled her hair as she strolled along the path, her hands tucked into her pockets. The vibrant hues of the changing leaves stood in stark contrast to the turmoil within her. As she walked, memories of their early romance resurfaced, the butterflies she felt when Brett first asked her out, the thrill of their first kiss, the joy of discovering new experiences together. But now, those memories seemed distant, overshadowed by the growing divide between them. Her steps slowed as she reached a bench overlooking a serene pond. She sat down, gazing at the water's rippling surface, reflecting the golden hues of the setting sun. It was in moments like these that she felt most alone, despite being surrounded by nature's beauty. "I can't keep living like this. I need to make a change, for both of us, she whispered to herself. With newfound determination, Abby stood and made her way home. She knew addressing their issues wouldn't be easy, but she was ready to fight for their relationship. Stepping into their cozy apartment, the familiar scent of Brett's cologne greeted her. She found him in the living room, immersed in another game, his eyes once again glued to the screen. Taking a deep breath, she steeled herself for the conversation ahead. "Brett, we need to talk," she said firmly. Startled, Brett turned to her, his controller slipping from his hand. "Hey, I thought you were working late. What's up?" Abby sat beside him, taking his hand in hers. "I want to talk about us. About how things have been lately." As the evening unfolded, Abby poured her heart out, expressing the loneliness she had been feeling. She explained how his devotion to gaming left her feeling neglected, and how their once vibrant connection seemed to be fading. Brett listened, his expression shifting from surprise to understanding. "I had no idea it affected you this much," he admitted. "I got so caught up in my gaming world that I forgot about the real one." "I'm truly sorry, Abby." Tears welled in Abby's eyes, a mix of relief and sadness. "I love you, Brett, and I want us to work. But I need you to be present, to be the man I fell in love with." Brett pulled her into a tight embrace, his arms a source of comfort. "I love you too, and I promise things will change. I'll make more time for us, starting right now." In that moment, a new chapter began. Brett's realization of his gaming obsession's impact on their relationship marked a turning point. Together, they embarked on a journey of rediscovery, determined to rekindle the spark that had once brought them together. As the days passed, Brett made a conscious effort to prioritize Abby. He set aside dedicated gaming hours, ensuring it no longer consumed his life. They started going on dates again, exploring new places, and creating memories that strengthened their bond. Abby's patience and Brett's willingness to change gradually healed the fractures in their relationship. They learned to communicate openly, expressing their needs and desires without fear. Their love, once threatened by the allure of virtual worlds, blossomed anew, stronger and more resilient than before. In the end, their story became a testament to the power of love and the strength of a relationship when both partners are willing to listen, understand, and make sacrifices for each other. Abby and Brett's journey reminds us that even the deepest rifts can be overcome with open communication and a shared commitment to love.